Hey everyone, thanks for hopping on. I love doing these Tuesday Zooms. They're a little bit different than our whole team Zooms, even though I've been inviting the whole team. I've just been wanting to do extra things like extra tips, extra motivation, just having that support for you guys. And honestly, I lead one team Zoom a month, so I really missed just teaching you something that I've been doing, something that I'm passionate about, or best practice I've learned. And in fact, next week, I have an elite coach who is not from our team, but I actually met her at Summit. We were at the same table, and she is going to do a call for us. And I want her to do it on a Tuesday night, and she's going to do it on attraction marketing. It's going to be awesome. So I'm really excited about that, to have a guest speaker for that. I am going to be talking to you about The Charge. It is a book that I read when I first became a coach, and it's by Brendon Burchard, and it made me motivated to read it again because I remember really feeling connected to this book. And then he was at Summit and spoke, and I said, oh my gosh, I remember reading his book. I remember feeling really passionate about it, and that's what I'm going to take you through today, a little bit about it. But a side note, something I realized. So it's never about what you know in this business. It's just about the action you take. I truly believe the more action you take, the more you'll know. And, whether that's you feel like you can't help a coach get started or you can't hit Success Club, I feel like the more conversations you have and the more that you do, the easier it's going to become once you just figure that out. But something I realized was that I stopped taking notes. I stopped taking notes on all my personal development. I stopped taking notes on Zooms. So yeah, you're right. I want you to take notes on this Zoom today, because what I realized was last year I hit elite. Last year I hit these really big goals, and I took notes on everything. I was a learner and grower and action taker. And I was in a rut for 6 months this year. I still hit Success Club every month. I still helped 2 coaches get started at least each month. But when I look at the difference from last year to this year, it's significantly different. And that was a hard pill to swallow, because I realized it was my lack of being present with learning. And so this is the book I'm reading and taking notes on, and I feel like a completely different person. I feel energized. I feel ready to tackle any circumstance. I feel like I can set a really hard goal, such as 10-star, and actually hit it. When in the beginning of the year, I'm like, I don't feel like I have anything left to give. And so I definitely feel like I have everything to give. So I'm going to walk you guys through the Charged Life, something that is really cool, where you can identify it with yourself, but you can also identify it with the people that you're helping. So actually, let's go ahead and just get started into that content, and then I want to talk about the UK. So I even made a little PowerPoint, and it really helps because I was like, oh yeah, this is so good. This is so good. So the Charge, it's activating the 10 human drives that make you feel alive. So maybe you're feeling like you're in a rut. Maybe you feel like life is just coming at you hard. Maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel pretty good. Maybe you don't feel passionate. Whatever it is, I truly believe that these things you're about to learn is going to really make you think and reflect and change. So there's 3 different types of lives you live: the caged life, the comfortable life, the charged life. Now, you may not live all 3 of these, but I bet you've lived 2 of them at least. And the point of this is to move to the charged life if you're not already there yet. So sometimes it's helpful to just stop amid all of our craziness, poke our heads above our busy work and computer screens, and ask ourselves the overall feeling and quality of our lives that we have. Like, how do we feel about our lives right now? Are we feeling like we're at a 10, or do we feel like we're at a -1? I feel like I'm at a solid 8 or 7. Like, I feel pretty good, but I know I could feel better, if that makes sense. We should gauge our own charge levels, asking just how excited we really feel about our current reality and our future. So feeling charged means feeling engaged, energetic, and enthusiastic. And everyone wants that, right? Everyone wants to feel more energy. Everyone wants to feel engaged and present. Our charge levels have two properties, quality and intensity. So low intensity is barely humming. I think of like a car that's barely working. And then high intensity, which is cranking at full volume. So the cage life, let's talk about this one. And if you are in the cage life, I think this is going to just click for you of maybe why you're stuck in your business, or maybe if you're not in the cage life, maybe you used to be in the cage life. And I truly believe that this will bring you content for social media that will speak to someone. So the cage life is someone who is in the past and lives in the past or the expectations of others. I have felt that before. I don't think I live a caged life, but I definitely have lived in the past before, or just being in the expectations of others, right? You never have ventured out into the unknown or sought to break the boundaries. And they have let other people or the past dictate who they are. Maybe that's someone in your life that you can be like, yep, that person did that for me. I was in the caged life because of that person. Their identities are trapped in a tight box of beliefs about what is possible for them, and their experiences in life and their everyday thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are restricted. Isn't that so scary to think about? And you might be like, oh my goodness, that is something that I have felt. They're tethered to where they are. They're bound by experiences they never got over. Wow, that is one that I feel like I see across social media all the time, where people are constantly going back to the past, or they're constantly blaming the past, or they're constantly just stuck on a super dramatic thing that didn't need to be dramatized, and they're ruled by the results of yesterday. Maybe that's why we have a lot of people who aren't willing to start, because they've failed so many times before that they're so stuck into who they used to be that they truly cannot see past that. So that might change up the way you present yourself on social media. You need to get in the heads of these cage life people. If they're so worried about failure and so worried about everything, you need to start speaking to them. They're scared of disappointment or disappointing their masters, and their masters aren't necessarily people. It could be just a master of their mind, like something in their head where they just can't get out of that funk, right? And they're a prisoner of what everyone else, what they want and what they think. And I mean, I think about moving to California, 9 out of 10 people that I would tell were negative about it, worrisome about it, or just like weary about it, or what they thought about how it's expensive and that I would never do that. I would never move there. You're crazy. I legitimately had family members more negative about us moving, not my immediate family, but some uncles and aunts and cousins that weren't really supportive about it. And it actually fueled my fire to do it even more. I think about when I decided to quit my job in the middle of the year, there were so many people with opinions on that. And I can't help but think now, like, whoa, they're in the caged life. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure. So the caged life, locked in, controlled, and restless to get out. There's two ways out. By chance or fate, somehow life flips upside down, which I feel like is probably not the best scenario in getting out of the cage life. But it's really this one of a willful way, which takes massive personal effort, takes massive action. I've seen people through this business be in the cage life and get out of it. I just think about my own circumstances of life and how I got out of it. You have to choose to look beyond the bars of approval and the fear-driven experience. And that's really, really hard. And maybe you can identify with that. You have to choose a new self-image in life and fight to forget or forge it into existence, by constantly aligning our thoughts and behaviors to make it so. And you know what? That could even be something simple as posting about coaching. How many of you have had people judgmental about it? where you have to think like, wait a second, I feel help. Like, it's crazy. I think about like David Beck, like he freaking handled an objection about um, people basically mocking Beachbody and sharing their opinions. And I thought he handled it so well, but it makes total sense though, where it's like, wait, I've lost 15 pounds. I feel awesome. I'm helping people. I feel like a different person. And you have to consciously choose to remember how this has changed your life, because people are going to constantly throw their opinions at you guys. And I just think about my journey with social media. I had people mocking me and making fun of me when I first started. And I just had to make a conscious choice of, wait a second, this actually makes me feel more confident as a person. They don't know what they're talking about. Or people who say that Beachbody is a pyramid scheme, where they're just more negative than they are supportive. But you have to make a conscious effort that in reminding yourself of why you wanted to be a coach and why you've changed your lifestyle, what it's really done, because we all know that it's so much more than fitness and nutrition. Like, there is nothing like feeling confident and good in your own skin. Like, nothing compares to that. I would rather feel amazing than have like a huge house, right? Like, there's nothing that gives you confidence like loving the skin that you're in. Then another life, so you have the caged life, then you have the comfortable life. I would say most of us fit into this one. You have independence, opportunity, and freedom. Houses, spouses, cars, and kids. You know, basically everything's good. Maybe you're traveling, you're engaged and thankful for your life. But you get to a point, and I've done this before too, even with college, of when I was in college, of like, is this really what I want? You know, but it all looks really good. Like, you go to college, you meet the friends that you do, and then at the end you're like, I have to go to the real world now? Like, wait a second, what? So basically the comfortable life is when someone's like, hey, how are you doing? And you're like, oh, things are good. They're fine. But it's like, you have an amazing job still, right? Or maybe you're doing really well, but it just is okay. And you find yourself asking yourself, is this what I really wanted? You know, the house, the job, where you're living, all your circumstances up until this point. Am I living my life, or am I living someone else's? Like, who am I? I feel like I lost myself, right? Life feels not meaningless, but mysterious. So it's not that you don't have gratitude for your life and where you're at and what you have, but you feel like there's something more. And that's definitely, I remember specifically sitting on a desk after school, and that's exactly what went through my head. I was just like, is this it? Like, is this really what it's going to look like for the next 60 years? I'm not sure how I feel about that. There was something mysterious, something more. I knew I had something else in me. And then maybe you're asking yourself, how did I end up here? Like, it all kind of aligned, but like, how am I here? And where did my ambition and drive and excitement go? The comfortable life. So comparing it to the caged life, I feel the caged life feels like it has no potential, but the comfortable self has actively sought to realize its potential, but fears its peaks. Like, you fear that it's already happened. I remember Rob Dial saying this on a podcast, or maybe in his coaching, where he's like, it really bothers me when people say my wedding day was the best day of my life, or when my kid was born, it was the best day of my life. And don't take it wrong, but meaning like, is that it? Like, you're never going to have another awesome day in your life? Like, it's already happened? That's scary. Where it should be like, every day is an awesome day, right? Every day is the best day of my life, versus certain, like, there's moments in our life that were like freaking amazing, but that's terrifying. You know how people say like, college was the best years of your life? Do you guys ever have people saying that? And they're always talking about that. And I loved college, you guys, but I don't want that to be the best part of my life, because I still have however many more years to live. The caged life feels limited by external conditions, and the comfortable life feels limited by its own success. So maybe you've just had a lot of success, or things have gone well. You have met the person of your dream. You have had a kid. You have your dream house. Maybe you feel limited by you've already done it all. The caged life feels like it has no voice and thus doesn't use it. And the comfortable self has used its voice, shared it, banked on it, but now wonders if that voice is the right one, the authentic one. Maybe you've lost completely in who you are in your own truth. I like it. Liz Colborn says she was like a chameleon, meaning she would lose her voice with whoever she was around and just kind of adapt to her environment and couldn't stick out and verbalize what her truth was. I have to think about that a lot too, because I can find myself just kind of like going with the flow, but not really voicing my authentic true self. But I really do believe that Beachbody and this opportunity in personal development has really helped me become more raw, real, and authentic. And there's a lot of freedom in feeling that way. So then we have the charged life. And if you go back to the one living a caged life asks, will I survive? So the focus is always on whether the person will be safe or hurt. Have you guys know people like that, where they're constantly like, wait, you're doing what? Like, what happens if this? Like, they're constantly fearful of the what if, and it's not an actual reality. The one living the comfortable life asks, will I be accepted and succeed? So he or she focuses on belonging, which is crazy. Like, I can identify with that. The person living the charged life wonders, am I living my truth and actually living out my potential? Am I living an inspired life and inspiring others? Those are great questions to wrestle through. Like, am I living an inspiring life and am I inspiring others? I love that. The charged life is filled with joy and purpose. And again, the charged life, it doesn't mean that your life is just 100% awesome all the time, if that makes sense. I think there's a definite difference between happiness and joy. Joy, you have this hope, or when things are bad, you just have this different expectation of how things are going to go. You're engaging in new and challenging activities. Life is magical and meaningful. Sees the world filled with exciting, unlimited possibilities. And you're striving for that growth and that progress. The charged life. We are not trapped in the ruts of routine or old familiar skill sets. Rather, we are engaged in the present. We want and hunger for challenges that stretch our abilities. I like this one because I really do. I even think about the Shift Shop. I think about Insanity Max 30. I know I'm relating a lot this to coaching, but I want you to think about these 3 types of lives, not just with coaching, but I feel like coaching, it's not a separate thing. I feel like coaching, because all high performers work out. All successful high performers work out. Like Mark Zuckerberg works out. Brendon Burchard works out. Tony Robbins works out. Like all of these amazing people who are very talented, smart, and successful take care of their bodies. So I feel like with Beachbody, it's just a part of our life. When you work out, eat well, surround yourself with positive people, you work on personal development, it's kind of hard to say Beachbody, right? But whatever, I just feel like it requires us to become a better person, and then therefore every other aspect of our life becomes better. And I think about those workouts and that it challenges me, it stretches me. To follow a nutrition plan stretches me. To reach out to people stretches me. I'm an outgoing introvert. Small talk isn't my favorite thing with strangers. It's awkward to me. Like, I'm the most awkward person in real life with someone now. And I don't know if it's because I don't have a computer screen or what, but it's bad. But I like laugh at myself and I'm like, whatever. We don't question our merits or doubt our strengths. That was a huge one for me. We don't question our merits or doubt our strengths. I think that's really important. Where you're actually proud of your strengths, you know what they are, and you use them. We focus on the lofty ambition to contribute to the world. That is huge. The charged life, the focus is contribution and serving. And this was a big question that I really wrestled with too, was not what you're getting from the world, but rather what you're giving to the world. And I thought about it in the sense of like, I think a lot of people could be like, well, I didn't get that, or I'm a very fair person. So when things aren't fair, I feel like I'm the first to speak up, and, or like, that's not fair, I didn't get that, right? And it's like, that's not what the charged life is like. That's not what a fulfilled life looks like, but you're just giving. And the charged life feels unlike anything we've ever known. Like, you just feel absolutely amazing with the charged life. So the charged life, they don't seem to be distracted in the present. I'm working on this. They don't fear the future or inevitable obstacles that life throws at them. And you guys, like, life is going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. Hard things are going to happen. And this doesn't mean you're not going to cry. This doesn't mean that you're not going to be stressed. It doesn't mean that you're not going to really struggle. But the point is, in the midst of your struggle, in the midst of the hard things, you're able to see past it. I think about all the obstacles I've gone through in my life in the last 3 years. As hard as it's been and how hard life has hit, I've always been like, I know I'm going to get through it. So even though I felt down in the dumps, I was like, I know I'm going to get through this. Then he had talked about there are 7 most common attributes of chargers that he's discovered. So one of them is chargers are open and observant in the moment, meaning they do not rush to judge what things mean or bind themselves closely with an assumption of how things should turn out. They tend to be more patient and more tolerant and more receptive of whatever comes their way. And they're more creative in how they understand a situation. So that's how they become more present. Chargers are future-oriented, meaning they have grand visions and ambitions. Chargers are optimistic about the future, and that optimism works like a magnet, drawing that desired future to them. So whatever that looks like for you, is that paying off all your debt? Is that helping your family? Is that traveling? Is that going on vacations? Is that being more present with your family? Maybe it's having, I always picture a huge dining room table and it's filled with friends and family with good home cooked meals and us just sitting around and laughing. Or I think about Christmas time and everyone just full from eating, and everyone has like a cookie that was homemade and we're all just sitting around watching a Christmas movie. Like, that just sounds amazing. And I didn't really have that as a kid. I'm like thinking about Lisa Gestrine. I like grew up with her, and I remember always going, I loved going to her house after a holiday. Like, I'd probably go over that day with Thanksgiving when she was back with her family. And I remember her kitchen island would just be filled with food, and her mom would always make pumpkin bars, which were my favorite thing ever. And I mean, like, they would have bowls of M&Ms. I love that we're health coaches and this is what I'm dreaming about. But I just remember, like, her house was so full of life and full of food, which means that full of people, right? And that is something I didn't have growing up. I lived through my friends who had that, but that's what I picture in my life, where everyone wants to be at my house. Lisa was never at my house because I never wanted to be there. I was always at her house. And that's what I picture in my life. So you have to think the future and like what you want, and then that's going to gravitate towards you. Chargers are challenge seekers, meaning chargers are ready for whatever life throws at them because they believe that they can rise to the demands of any situation. I really do believe that successful coaches, one, we all go through tough things, but they're the ones who stick it out and are consistent and show up anyway. You either have the excuse-making season and the survival season, which are the exact same, meaning there's a death in the family, or there's a pregnancy, or you're moving across the country. Like, it's the same factors, but the excuse-making season, that coach stops showing up. They don't know monthly promos. They don't know what's happening, and they're not consistent. And the survival season, they are hitting those goals, but the actual situations are the exact same. Chargers are deeply interested in and authentically connect with others. Basically, chargers love people. They have authentic interactions with people and deep, meaningful relationships with their friends and family. I think that's huge. I feel like that's one I really have to work on and being more intentional with. They see each relationship in life as an opportunity for connecting, learning, growing, and sharing a piece of themselves. Chargers say the relationships they have with others are often the most important things in their lives. Relationships are seen as the key vehicle to engaging in and enjoying life, which I definitely agree with. Chargers are self-reliant, they're independent and resourceful. I think about with coaching, I go to YouTube with everything. I go to Google with everything, and I just learn as much as I can and I take action. They welcome company on their journeys, but not to the extent that they're willing to divert from their paths. That's huge. They do not feel responsible for making everyone around them happy if it means compromising their own values. The reality is that they are simply brave enough to chart their own courses and confident enough on their journeys to try new ideas and even to fail and figure out things for themselves. Chargers are creatively driven. They tend to choose jobs, careers, projects, causes, and opportunities based on whether they feel that they can be creative and expressive. Coaching is you. Coaching is sharing your journey, not mine. And that's what makes this so amazing. Chargers are meaning makers. Chargers have a deep respect for the meaning that imbues each day and equally deep desire to create meaningful moments in their lives. Chargers are able to avoid getting bogged down in the details that tend to draw other people up short. Chargers have a full appreciation for the big picture. Their lives are spent striving to achieve worthy goals that tie to their passions and life purposes. So creating a charged life requires us to dig deep inside and activate the very drives that make us human. So again, the charged life is one we all want to strive for. We're not going to always be like on our game 100%. But when I was reading that, I was like, yes, yeah, that's right. And like underlining everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I in the caged life? Am I in the comfortable life? And it worried me because I was like, I want to be in the charged life. Like I want to live a life that is purposeful. I want to live a life that's on purpose. And do you ever get to like, you're in the car and then all of a sudden you show up to your destination and are you like, how did I get here? like I don't even remember getting here, but I feel that way about days sometime where all of a sudden I'm ready to go to bed and I'm like, did I even matter today? Like, did I even do anything that mattered? And that bothers me because I don't want to get to the end of my life and think, did I even matter? Like, did I even make a difference? Did I even live life like I was supposed to? Or did I just hit cruise control? Or did I numb myself with watching a ton of TV? Or did I do things that were not being intentional? So I don't know. I definitely encourage you guys to read The Charge. And if you're feeling inspired by really digging deep into which life you're living, I think that's good. Those are good questions to ask yourself. But also maybe life is really, really good right now and you are feeling really charged. I need you to start thinking about the people that you're connecting with. And if you can start to think like, dang, like are they really happy with what they're doing? How can you communicate in a way that there's more? And I know for me before coaching, one, I wouldn't have ever done personal development, or not to the extent that I do it. I wouldn't think that it would be important. And I think it really has changed so much of my life. But they probably don't even realize that there is something more. Even when they're asking themselves, is there something more? I don't think that they truly believe that there could be more. And you are going to be the voice of hope for that. So I really encourage you to think about that and how you're communicating through your social media. So that's what I have about The Charge by Brendon Burchard. I'm really excited to finish it again. And when I was reading it, it just made me even more excited about it. So I want to show you guys what I've been doing with the UK. If you noticed in the resources page, I started adding things like crazy in there. And when you see that in the resources page, that's where I've been spending most of my energy for the day. When I'm in that resources page uploading videos, it's because I've watched them and it's because I've been learning. And so much of what I've done in this business has just me, again, watching YouTube, which sounds so funny, but like it legitimately, like, I guess you really can. There was this guy who taught himself how to do a backflip in one day. And I was like, it's so true though. Like when you really do focus and put your mind to something and just learn it, you can break the obstacle of what your mind is telling you you can't. And I really feel that way with coaching, with Success Club and adding coaches. I was talking to, and adding coaches isn't a bad thing, you guys. And I say adding coaches, but I'm like, if I didn't become a coach, I wouldn't be who I am today. And so I truly believe it's the greatest thing and greatest gift. But what was I going to say? Shoot, now I can't even remember. Oh, a coach was telling me, they're like, yeah, I haven't been hitting Success Club and I need to tell you the truth. It's because I haven't been doing the work for it. And I looked at her and I said, I know that. I was like, I was a teacher, and when kids wouldn't do well on tests, which again, I'm bad at tests, whatever, but like if they didn't get a good grade, it's because I know like why they didn't get a good grade. They didn't know it. But when I see people not hitting Success Club, I'm not coming from a judgmental place, but I know they're not doing what they need to do to hit it. Or, you know what I'm saying? And some of you might be like, Julianne, oh my gosh, you're making me feel so bad. And I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, like, I truly believe with every part of who I am that it's not hard, and don't make it hard. And success really isn't like a favorite thing. Like, it's not like I have all these people on my social media reaching out to me and buying challenge packs. Like I actively work towards it. Does that make sense? Like I really put in effort. And you can't say it's because I do this full time, because I still did this when I was a full-time teacher. So you're getting, don't go there with your mind. But I work for it. So I'm just telling you guys that legitimately, like, you can do it. You just have to believe that you can. So back to my UK stuff. I was like, how do you launch this in the UK? I don't know anyone in the UK. I've never been to the UK. I don't even think any of my friends on social media have been to the UK. Wrong assumption. A lot of my friends on Facebook have been to the UK because they told me today. But I was like, I don't even know like what's in the UK really. So I started doing research. What did I do? Here, I'll take you through my mindset today. I go top 10 places for local. Oh wait, I did hashtags. So I was looking for hashtags today too for Instagram. Top places in UK for locals. I don't want touristy people. I want people who actually live in the UK. So then I found, let's see, I can't even pronounce like half of this stuff, but it's fine. So say if I went to this, okay? Then I copied it. And then I went to Facebook. And then I put it in the search and was like, I wonder what I'll find. Enter. I haven't Googled this one, by the way, or even Facebooked this one. So let's see. I have all this stuff here. All right, cool. I can go to pages and see if there's any pages for it. So Sunrise, Holiday, this is a hotel, so I could do that, or I can do the kayaking, but let's go to this one. And if someone liked it, it's kind of a weird page, but whatever. I can, oh, there's reviews on it. Huh, I'm gonna look at those. And then I'm gonna look at the reviews. So this is pretty much what I did today. There's not really a whole lot of reviews, so that's kind of not the best one. Let's do this. Top coffee shops in UK. Old school coffee shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this. I really want you to see how I started friend requesting people. Oh my goodness. I'm like, when you talk about struggle bus, it's happening right now. Okay, so then I'm going to go here. And again, I don't even know if this is how you expand, but I was like, this is all I can think of right now. I don't know if this is the one in the UK. But my point is, then I would look at this and be like, huh, I'm going to look and see who liked it. And then when I go over here, I'm going to see, oh, look at this. United Kingdom, friend request. Voila, did it. And then I joined groups today. I did like Boxer Dog UK. So you can see all of my Googles I did today. Boxer Dog UK. So then I'm going to go to Dogfield UK, whatever the heck that is. I might click like. Oh, I did. Crazy. And then I'm going to go through, let's see, Tracy wrote a little review on here, and then I could friend request her. And so that's what I did today. I joined groups, and how you can do that is you can look up here, I click groups. So I think I asked to get in here. Request, no I didn't. So UK Boxer Dogs. I'm gonna be getting a boxer soon. Boxer dog meetups. Yep, am I gonna meet up with them? Probably not. Play dates. I'm gonna add. Oh gosh, do I own one? Are you from the UK? They must know. And so then after I get added to it, what I'll do is I'll start commenting below. And I'll start commenting on people's posts, building relationships with them, and then friend requesting them. Some groups have guidelines where you can't do that, but it is what it is. So I started friend requesting everybody from the UK today. I started joining groups. I started following like pages. Again, you can do that here. You can go to people. So Boxer Dog UK, that means that so I could do this. United Kingdom. I did United Kingdom 5K, like United Kingdom Backstreet Boys. I was trying to see if there were any groups because I'm in the Vegas residency one. If I did United Kingdom, I could go to people. So she's in the United Kingdom. I could click her name, and then I could see if it's not someone that really runs a profile. I could go to photos for people who are in the you can go to places. I think that this one is huge. Specifically, when you find specific places in the UK, you'll have more. So then I could look at all the pictures. If I were to look at right here, so Mark wrote this. Mark is with a girl, but I can also see who likes his post and who comments below on his post. And I can see if he lives in the United Kingdom. So you guys, not too hard, right? Like it was just kind of a thing where I was like, wow, every day I'm going to send 10 friend requests to people in the UK, maybe 5, whatever you pick it. I'm going to like 2 like pages in the UK, and then I'm going to comment below on some posts of people who live in the UK on this stuff and start interacting with people. And I'm just going to start talking about it and then building those relationships, if that makes sense. And then, this is what I've been doing too, is if someone from the UK accepts a friend request, so I can see who accepts my friend request. If I go here and I go to friends, I can go to recently added. And so I could see if Amy or Becca, which they're not, if they're from the UK, and if they were, Becca's not, but if I could go to add, I'm going to add her in an August list, but I have a UK list. So then I would add all of my new friends that accept my friend request to my UK list. And then what I could do is go to my homepage, click friend list, and I have a potential coaching list, potential challenger list. Every month is my new friends list. So anyone who accepts my friend request, I always put them in a May 2017, whatever. So I'm going to go to UK, and look, I already have some friends on here. There's just one person who posted there today. Her name's Phoebe. So what I could do is go to Phoebe's. I might not be able, I can see her friends. So then I can kind of go through and see, okay, Rosie is in the United Kingdom. We already have one mutual friend, which is good, right? It's that initial awkwardness of not having any mutual friends, but I'm trying to build mutual friends. So I'm going to add her. And then hopefully I'll start having 10 mutual friends, like 5 mutual friends, and then it'll look better. So that's what I've been doing. And I just started this today. I feel like I should have started this a little bit ago, but I wanted to kind of do my research, figure out how to do this. And then what I would do is, you guys, this is going to be huge. If you can find someone in the UK that wants to be a coach, it hasn't been touched. They have so many people they could get in on this that are ready. So go to the resources page, click this UK. Okay, first of all, I made this resources page just because I want you guys to see how my brain works. This was me, and what I've done to build my business is watch all of these videos. I've made this so easy for you, because I would just it is really easy to go to YouTube though and type in Beachbody UK and see what people are making and then getting ideas from them. So then you have all these videos you can watch about how they're launching in the UK as a coach. And then if you look here, it even says, you can join the Team Beachbody UK pre-launch, where Beachbody is going to start teaching us how to launch it. You could go to Team Beachbody at theuk.com, and you can learn about, this is what you can send to people in the UK to like, so they can learn more about it. And then there's even like a policy and procedures that Beachbody made. I think it was the first thing right here. So this will literally answer all your questions. I think so many times we're like, I don't know, I wonder what it is, and we don't. So general country information, 26% of the United Kingdom is obese. I thought that was insane. And then you can learn about it. They have it all together. Like, what will Success Club look like? These are the things you should do. These are the things that you cannot do and shouldn't do with launching in the UK. And then here are like frequently asked questions. But I looked at this document today and it was very helpful. So I think with like being a coach, just don't wing it. Like, just like learn and then implement. And then I guess I kind of winged like how to expand my network, but I just did it in the way that I would now. I just don't have any friends from the UK. So I was like, how can I get friends from the UK? Well, I better start researching places in the UK and then finding if people are there and then friend requesting them. And my goal is to have like 500 United Kingdom friends by October 19th when it launches. Because then I'll start talking about it. They'll probably hear about it, and the thing is when I'm adding people, I'm not doing a whole lot yet, but they're going to start following my journey. I'm going to start commenting on their pictures, and then I'm going to say, hey, my friends in the UK, want to join a group? Or like, hey, want to join a challenge group? And they'll be like, yeah. And I'll be like, awesome, they're actually going to the UK. I had someone today comment on my video, and she's like, oh, my husband and I are moving to the United Kingdom. And I'm like, what a small world. And then I said, you need to be a coach. Is exactly what I told her. She's like, I've been watching you for a year. I wasn't ready, but I think that's a really good idea to start that now, huh? And I go, absolutely. Like, I'll help you figure this thing out. Like, but yeah, I think this would be a really smart thing for you to do. So those are the ideas that I have so far. Do you guys have any comments or questions? Biggest thing, don't feel like you're not doing enough. Like, if you're actually not doing anything in your business, like, okay, but like, please understand that there's more than enough people that still need our help in the US and that are in your friends list. So don't make this like a stressful thing and you're only focused on the UK. Don't be only focused on the UK. Like, be focused with people who you're already friends with that need your help. But I think it is smart to start getting some connections in the UK, when before I was like, I don't even know how to do that. And I'm like, oh, this is easy. Like, if I spend 10 minutes of my day friend requesting 5 people from the UK, I'm not going to think much of it. But later on, this could be really good for me. So I'm thinking long term with it. I'm not thinking I can do anything now. But then I'm also just focused on people who are already my friend who need my help. So do you guys have any questions about anything? I know that was kind of a lot of information to throw right at you.
I have a question, Jules. So if we can't sign up anybody as a coach from the UK until October 19th, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you could do is you could put them in a group. Like, you can make a group and have like where you kind of congregate them, and maybe you go live and say, okay, this is what you're going to do to sign up. And then maybe you have a challenge group planned on November 6th. If they can sign up the 19th, you have a challenge group that you'll run with them on the 6th, where they can get all of their friends and family in for free, get all their people in. And if their people want to pay for stuff, great. But if not, it doesn't really, like, do the free thing. But that's kind of what I'm thinking is, like, the people you know that want to do this, be like, let's sign you up on the 19th. And then I'm gonna run a group for you. Just get people in there.
That's good.
So it's just like having that plan and not winging it. I think a lot of people will go in the month being like, I'm not sure when my group's going to be, or this. It's the same thing with the UK. Like, if they can sign up on the 19th, you already know people. Shoot, like, tell them exactly what they're going to do and how you're going to help them. And just a side note, guys, I don't have anyone yet ready for that, but I want to, and I'm going to work for it. but I also am not going to spend all my energy with the UK stuff. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing and hitting my goals here with the US, but I also want to think long term in this of like Beachbody is about to explode and it is about to get so awesome. It's already awesome, and I can't even imagine what's going to happen after the UK launch. You guys, we're like, this Beachbody is never going to stop. Like, their mission is to end the trend of obesity. Carl Deichler, it is unreal how passionate he is about this. And this company has been around for 19 years. Most MLMs last for only 3. Coaching has been around for almost over 10 years. That's longer than any other MLM, really. Like, it's really one of the oldest. And this one is specifically on health and nutrition and fitness. People need that for life. Like, this is about to get so crazy. So start treating it like a business if you haven't already. And it is going to set you up for so much success when you have that plan. And I'll help you through that. Like, I don't want you to be like, oh my gosh, like, I'm overwhelmed. No, like, don't allow yourself to get overwhelmed. Allow yourself to get really excited that you're going to figure it out. And like, allow yourself to get really excited that you're going to get good at this. Like, I've never expanded to another country. Like, I don't even, like, I'm figuring it out too, but I'm going to try to make it as smooth as possible for you guys. Good question. Any other questions? Did you guys like the charge life? Like, did you like those 3 different lives? Like, doesn't it make it where you're like, oh, thank goodness I'm not in this life. I'm not in the cage. Like, I feel like if you're a Beachbody coach, you're not in the cage life. Like, you are like stepping outside the cage life for sure. All right. Well, let me know if you ladies need anything ever. I'm here for you. And again, success doesn't play secrets. Like, do the 4 vital behaviors, like, straight up. Like, that's what it is. It's so crazy how simple this business is. And this business is meant to be fun. So if you're not having fun, you're like, you got to change something up. If you feel frustrated because you're not moving, I feel frustrated a lot because I just want to be places where I'm not, you know? But just trust that process, okay? All right, ladies, thanks for hopping on. I'll talk to you later.